Hey guys, 2 days ago, I got a message on Facebook from a brother in my jurisdiction saying that his lodge doesn't have a website and that he really wanted to start one, and if I could help him kind of begin that process, and was looking for some information. And I thought, wow, that'd be a great way to make a video. So that's what we're doing today. So let's knock 3 times and let's get this started. Hey guys, it's Z. Like I said, about 2 days ago, a brother on Facebook contacted me. He had saw my website. He knew his lodge wanted a website, but the lodge itself was really kind of concerned about how much it would cost, how much time it would take, things along those lines. And I'm betting that his lodge is probably kind of in the same position as a lot of lodges are. If you don't have someone that's into web development or things along those lines, it can be overwhelming to start that process. So today I'm going to show you how, using Google, you can create your own website. You can probably get your own domain name. It's if you do the basic package, it's absolutely free. If you want to step up a little bit, you can pay $12 a year, have your own domain name, which I highly encourage the lodge do, or just a brother, just whoever's doing the development, just pay the 12 bucks and move on. Make sure it's what you want. Now, Google, I will tell you, is a bit basic, and that's quite okay. You don't need a lot of information on your website. You just need enough information on your website. We are not a business. We're not trying to sell things, but you can use Google to link to your PayPal accounts and things along those lines, so you can pay your dues online, or if you're doing raffles or festive board and you're buying tickets, you can put all of that information on there. So I'll give you some hints. I'll give you some tricks along the way. So let's go ahead and let's start taking a look at Google and how we can make this happen. Back here taking a look at Google, and I was going to show you guys how to create a website. So what we're doing right now is we're taking a look, and you can see that I've actually gone to Google, went to create a new email. This is it's not a fictitious lodge name and number. It's actually one that that was actually my grandfather lodge that's occurring through there. So as you can see, I already have Mount Moriah in there, and we're going to create it along those lines. We're going to go ahead and click next, and then okay, not now, I don't really care. We're going to go ahead and put in our phone number. Yeah. All right. So now, sorry I had to jump past all of that. That was putting in all my personal information. I'm going to cut that out so you don't see anything. But it was like asking like your phone number and things along those lines. And whoever's creating this account will be more than used to that. So we're right here. We're at the home screen for your Google account. And what you want to do is you want to go up here and click on here and go down and click on the Google Drive. Pretty simple and pretty easy, right? This is a great spot. Let's go through all of the tours. I'm sure they're going to ask me. Yeah, let's click out all of that. If you've never used Google Drive before, please go through those. It'll tell you a bunch of information. But this is a great spot for you to keep all of your information in. What they can do is that, if you want to put in your meeting minutes or things along those lines. Now, I'm going to tell you, it is Google. Once you put it in, they pretty much own it, so don't put anything in there that has any secrets in there or any personal identification stuff. So please don't keep a member roster on there or things like that. If you're going to be doing that stuff, I know my secretary likes to use OneDrive because it's secure and things along those lines. Please, 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 please do not put any of that personal identification information in there, or PII, or whatever else that they call it. But you get the idea. Okay, please don't do that. Now, one of the great things about using Google Drive is that when you take this email address that we just created, it can be passed from secretary to secretary, or from worshipful master to worshipful master. In fact, both of you, worshipful master and secretary, should probably have the account information just in case something happens, and make sure that everything's transparent. Everyone knows what's occurring. So by all means, please do that. Please share that information. If you have a secretary or worshipful master that won't give you that information, we got bigger problems, right? So right here, we're going to start, excuse me. We're going to go over to here to create new, and then you're going to come down to more, and right here is where it says Google Sites. You're going to click on that. When you click on that, it's going to bring you up to here, right? And you can take this tour if you want to. It's kind of why I'm here. But what we're going to do is this is going to set up a very basic Google site for you. So your title page right there, we're just going to call it Mount Moriah, number 33. Bam, there that is. And then it will probably, we want to call this the site. We'll go with Mount Moriah, number 33. And that will actually take care of most of the basic setup that you need to do. Now, what they do here is you can actually go up into this bar right here and see themes. You can change the themes. I think its default set is simple. You can go to Aristotle if you like that better. You know, you can kind of do all of that. Now, if everything doesn't look super awesome with the spacing and things like that, don't worry. I have the window closed. Google does a great job of making sure that it's altered and changed so that it fits into the appropriate browser, and I'll show you that in a few minutes later. But you can click on all of these and you can do all of this. I think the one that I used before for the other gentleman was Mount Moriah. For the one that I was doing, not Mount Moriah, but the one that I was Impression. I think we started with that. I'm just going to start with simple because it is simple. But you can come in here and you can make sure that all of your font colors and styles and stuff are all kind of there, right? You can go back through and you can click and change it and make it look different and things along those lines. Now, one of the things like right up there, let me do that again real quick. Bam! And you see up here where it says saving. One of the great things about Google Drive is that it saves all of your changes, so that if for some reason everything just goes haywire and you need to go back and revert, you know, you can come up and click and Control Z it, or you know, sometimes there's like back buttons and things like that. You can undo things, undo last action or redo action, and it'll change it back to what it was. So like if you're just like, I didn't like that, what happened? You can just click back until you get to where you were, right? So it's awesome that way. Now this is ideally your home page, right? And so what we do is we go over to page, we see that it's called the home page, and that's what it is. Now we can add in another page through here. So if we click on adding a new page, let's say we want to talk about, let's say history. Now you can see it automatically jumps us to history. We have a new page now created. So when you go to pages, you want to create the page, then go over to insert, and then from here, you can actually put in what they call like these little content blocks, where if you double click on it, you can have them in. I added one too many. I come over, click the delete section. Here you can add some sort of social media type thing. If you want to embed a YouTube video, things along those lines, really simple. So for here, like maybe you want to say it's Mount Moriah number 33, you want to put a picture of Mount Moriah, and then you just title this one little section, just Mount Moriah there. And then in here you say Mount Moriah was where King David bought the threshing room floor, which then became the site for Solomon's, put King Solomon's temple, right? And so you have that. Now you can, from here, you can go back in, you can insert more stuff. For instance, if you just want a text box, you can click on the text box, it'll put it in here, and then you want to say history of Mount Moriah Lodge, right? From here, you have all of these options that are right through here. So you can kind of do one of these things, click on normal text, you want to create it as a title. You can change the font size, all that other goodness. I do recommend, I prefer to have everything centered. That's just mine. I don't like a lot of things over to the left or right if that's the case. But again, there are definitely reasons why you're developing and that happens. Now, from here, we added in another text box, right? So I want to kind of talk about the actual it, but I want it below. So I'm just going to click on these little, you can see it right here, this little grabber thing, and you're going to drag it down, bam, move it. Mount Moriah Lodge was the first lodge in Washington County in, I don't even remember, in the late 1700s, I'm pretty sure, because my lodge was founded in 1827. So I know I have that information somewhere else. And then you can just start going and clicking and things along those lines, adding more information. It eventually dissolved and became Friendship Lodge number 84. It was resurrected in 2023. Bam, whatever you want to do. So you have that history of Mount Moriah. You can fill it in, get a whole lot of information, and then you go, okay, that's great. Now that I have Mount Moriah, you can see up here they actually have the pages listed. You want to go add in another page. You want to hit contact. All right, that's the next page you want to add in because it's really important for these guys to go in. You hit insert. You can come down here. They give you a whole bunch of things that you can actually add in. But most of it is all in Google format. So if you're putting in a Google Doc, it's got to be in that format. But again, I don't recommend necessarily that you put a lot of stuff in here other than just basic information that people need to know. So here, unfortunately, you can, added another one by chance. Here we go. You want to add a way for them to email you, right? Well, over here, there's no way to put in kind of like that super form thing where they can email you and things like that. So where a little bit of coding information helps. So if you want more information, please email us at, and then you can either put it in, so you can do Mount Moriah 33, oh my goodness, at gmail.com, or here, right through here, one of the options that you have right through this is that you can add in a link. There is the insert link. It looks like a link in a chain. That's how you know you're going to do it. And it's going to bring you up to here. Now, what you can do is when you do that, the email, because that's the hot word that's highlighted, that's what's going to be the actual link. Now, to add in the link for an email, you write mail to, and then you put Mount, and you put the little colon, Mount Moriah 33 at gmail.com. You can see that the apply has now become blue. You can click on that. And then when you click here, you can see right there, bam, it's now going to be a link so that when we take a look, and you can see this button up here is the preview button. It's the preview button because you can see how it looks on phone or how it looks on desktop. We click on that. You can see that it's already changing. You can see that here on a large screen, such as a computer, you can click on this and it should, there you go, go ahead and just automatically bring you up to that so you can have that information. You can take a look on it as a tablet screen, which will look like this, and you can see how it's adjusting. You can take a look at it on a mobile screen, right? Pretty simple, pretty easy, and you can add all of this information in. When you're done, just go ahead and edit the preview, or exit the preview is what it is, and you can see that you have all of this information. So really the sky is the limit on this. One of the other ones that I really like to add in is to add in a calendar. I think it's super important that you guys have calendars on there. And again, don't worry about the spacing. You know that when, because the screen is shortened because I have the video of me talking to you while I'm doing this on the actual device, it'll show correctly. But when you go through, you can put in that calendar page, and then from here, you can go down and click on the calendar and add that one in. So you just automatically, bam, there it is. Here we go. We're going to stretch that out a little bit. And all I do is I just grab like these little blue dots, the adjusters, and you can click and go that way. Now, one of the things that's really important is to always make sure that you're exploring all of the little buttons and stuff that pop up. So for instance, when I click on this little settings one, I can have all of this information. I don't like seeing this as an agenda. I never really have. I want to see it in a month view. So when I click done, now it takes me back over here to where everything is set like I like to see it. And I think for a lot of people, they like to see it that way because they can plan out their entire month. And you can also, and it has the button down here where you can say add to Google Calendar. People can actually come in and they can add your calendar to their calendar, so it automatically shows up on their phone and things along those lines, which is a huge, huge help if you've never done that before, right? So we have that one. One of the other things right here is when you scroll all the way down, you can add a footer. Now, for many of you, a footer is going to be that common theme that goes from across from page to page to page. And so you'll see a lot of times like in here you can say we're meeting at 1234 Masonic Drive in Hagerstown, Maryland. Right? And that you're just giving a simple little, this is the information that they kind of want to know. You might want to add in just kind of an asterisk right there and then say something like, here's our phone number. 999, we'll go Masonically, 333, 333, 3333, and then add in another one that has that simple email us. And through here, excuse me, you can actually link on that one again, come back through, you can create a link right here. Again, you do the mail to Mount Moriah 33 at gmail.com, hit apply, and now this is the footer. Oh, I want to go back and center that. I hate that. I don't know why it doesn't default there, but that's okay. There we go, align. We're going to scroll down a little bit, hit center, and now it's centered on there. It's still a little bit too small for my taste, so I'm going to go ahead and increase the size of it to, let's say, 14. I prefer it looking that big. And now, when you go back to your other pages, which over here, you're going to go back and you're going to go to home, for instance. At the bottom, bam, there it is. At the history, bam, there it is. Contact us, bam, there it is. So that footer is going to go across to all of the pages. You don't have to do it for every single individual page. One of the things that I think is really kind of cool is that if you do this, you kind of, you go into, let me see if it'll work on here. Yep, it will. Google Maps, here we go. And say you're going to put in, we're going to meet at, I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. I'm going to put in my actual lodge, 70 East Washington Street. In Hagerstown, that's going to be where it is. You can actually see that's my lodge right there. And you can actually share that. And when you share that, you can copy the link to it, which is really helpful. Because now you can go back to Mount Moriah. You can go here. You can create that as a link. And then you can just paste that in there, hit apply. And now when we go up to preview, when we click on 1, 2, 3, 4 Masonic Hagerstown, it's going to take me right here so people can get directions for it. So it's a huge help to be able to do that because now you've taken away a lot of the thinking that people need to do. So we go back here, we're going to click out. We'll go back to edit mode, which is what this is. And now we have everything kind of squared away where we can start adding in more pages and things along those lines. You can also insert into here if you have a YouTube video that you want to do or anything along those lines. I like putting in dividers. I absolutely love dividers because it helps for me to kind of section out everything as we're doing it. One of the things I would encourage you to do, let's go back to pages. We're going to go to history. Mount Moriah, history of Mount Moriah Lodge. Now, I could continue to type in here and create an entire paragraph long. Remember, most people would typically rather see a header and then a slight paragraph underneath. And as they're scrolling, they're just looking for those headers to find the information rather than trying to have to read a page and a half of what looks to be an essay. They're not going to do it. That's kind of the trend right now, is to go through, try to find that, look for the big headers. You're not trying to waste time to read every single word. So if you want to do history of Mount Moriah, and this is one button that I love, duplicate section. Now I just automatically created. I like the formatting and things along those. I click it, bring it down here, history of Mount Moriah, and then now we're going to put in future of Mount Moriah. And then if you like this section here, you bam. Duplicate it, grab it, pull it down underneath. The future of Mount Moriah is rebuilding the temple that once was destroyed by using brotherly love, relief, and truth, because I like Oxford commas, right? So now that, now that when we go back to preview, when we're scrolling down, we go, okay, bam, there it is. And you're able to kind of section it out a whole lot easier for people. It's a lot easier on the eyes, a lot easier to scroll through. You don't have to read everything. So I always encourage that one. People are a lot easier just to scroll than having to hit a button, have drop-down menus and kind of stuff like that. So please keep that in mind with that hint that that's occurring there. One of the other things that I told that brother to do is to add in, and we added in a page of Western Maryland lodges. And from here, what we did is we added in another section, and we added in just a simple text box, and we said Friendship Lodge number 84. That's my lodge. I'm going to shrink that down a little bit. I'm going to center it because I prefer it to be centered, like I've always said. Centered. Bam. So from here, I'm going to duplicate that section. I'm actually going to click and drag it, and I'm going to move it, maybe. And I'm going to click and drag and move it up to here. So now I can kind of force columns in there. There's no other way to really do that. But you can take a look. They have like these little bars that you see in between the little gray ones, and that is what snaps to those positions. They're really helpful. But this one I'm going to call Hagerstown Lodge number 217. And from here, what I really always enjoy doing is kind of going through, adding in that other link. I know that that other link is going to put me at www.lodge84.org. Hit apply. So now when I go, and I'll do this one too while I'm already here, I'm going to go in, click on the link, www.hagerstown217, I think they're .com. Now when I go into preview method, you know, I can take a look and, hey, here's my lodge. Here's the website that I created. Or I go over and I click on Lodge 217. There they are. And so I'm able to help support the other lodges in my county and in my area and provide that information to not only my brothers, but maybe prospective candidates. Because remember, at least for me, it's not necessarily which lodge they go into, it's that they're in a Masonic lodge. And perhaps Friendship 84 meets on a different night that's better for them, or Hagerstown 217. You know, they have more brothers that are kind of in this general vicinity of kind of their work life. You know, it's kind of like the Hagerstown 217 was made up of railroaders, and that's how that lodge kind of got started. Friendship Lodge, not quite so much. So you're also including those brothers into lodges where their profession may be similar, or better nights, or whatever else along those lines. Because again, I'm not concerned about people joining my lodge as much as I'm concerned about people joining lodges, right? So that's the easiest way to do that. Now, let me show you how simple it is to actually publish this, because it is rather simple. Is that you go over to publish right here, and if I wanted to right now, I could go ahead and publish this and take this site right here. This would be my site name. And I'm going to control copy. I'm going to publish that. Now, what I can do is you see how that little drop down is? I can go and view that site right now. This is the site. It's now live. I have no question about it. I can click on this and I can send it over to whomever I want and go, this is our lodge. Please, by all means, go ahead, or you click here and then you just kind of copy that one and you send it to your prospective candidates. Here it is, and have fun. However, when I come in through publish in my publishing options, I can go to publish settings again. What we can do here is this is where we can create our own custom domain. We're going to click on manage, and it's going to ask you, make your site easier to remember with a custom domain name. We're going to click on that. We're going to buy the domain and hit next. And I'm going to have to get out of here real quick in just a moment, but I'll be back, don't worry. And it should pull up. Should pull up. I'm going to have kids come here in a minute. I'm just going to go ahead and refresh that real quick. Home. Yeah, sometimes that happens. But now when you go back to Google Drive, you can see that here's the site and things like that. And I just refresh it again. You can come back in, click on it, and it'll pull up everything like that. Got it. We can add social media links in, and I haven't done that one yet, but you should. Let's see if I can get this one in real quick. Publishing settings. We're going to manage, start setup. We're going to buy a domain. Hopefully now it will. Looks like it is. Cool. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to write Mount Moriah 33. And what that's going to do is that's going to show me whether or not I can actually have it. Now, I can do Mount Moriah number 33. And through here, I can go through and I can take a look at all of the endings that they have. but you can see right here, mountmoriahrd.org. Now, I really would want mountmoriah.org, but that's not going to happen. But they give us all of the other information that we're able to have. I'm going to have mountmoriah.33.org. I'm hoping that that's going to happen right there. I'm going to click on buy. And then it's going to ask for you to put all of your stuff in. You can auto renew and all that other good stuff. You can try it for 14 days. You can buy it for a couple of years. You don't get any savings on it if you do like the bulk stuff. But that's the easiest way to do that. That when you purchase that domain name, that's how it's going to work. Okay, so I'm going to stop right now before my kids come in. But I'll be back in I'll be back in a few minutes when I get my my lunchtime or in the evening when I'm doing some other stuff, and we'll continue with this. Okay, guys. All right, guys, I'm back. I kind of had to take a little bit of break there for a few minutes as it's been a couple of days, but I wanted to get back and make sure I helped finish out this video for you guys. There were two major things that lodge also had wanted, and one thing that they really had wanted and one that I thought was a really good idea for them. Number one is the calendar. Now, many of us know that our calendars are always full, and it's hard sometimes to see the full year. And so we have the calendar here. And so I wanted to show you a way to add those events in, especially reoccurring events, and how brothers can actually subscribe to that. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back over to your drive. You're going to go and you're going to click on your Google Calendar, which I think I already have there. There we go. And say your meetings are on the 2nd and the 4th Mondays. I'm going to create a new meeting, Mount Moriah Lodge meeting, and it's going to be on January 9th because that was the 2nd Monday, right? And I'm not going to have it all day. I'm going to have it start at 7 p.m. So I'm going to scroll down here, 7 p.m., because that's when our lodge meetings meet. And we go, let's say, till 8:30, right? Now, right here, when it says does not repeat, I'm actually going to change that. Now, Google's really great that it can repeat weekly on Monday or on the second Monday of every month. And that's exactly what it is that I want. I'm going to add in that location of 70 East Washington Street. Washington Street and Hagerstown. You can see that it pulls up right there. I'm going to click and save that. Now, if I go to the next month, you can already see that in February it's listed. However, we're 2nd and 4th Mondays, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to duplicate that same event, right? Because it's the same basic thing. It's that recurring one. Now, what they're going to ask for is for us to go in, and if this is the 2nd Monday, here's the 4th Monday, and now you can see that Google will automatically adjust. It'll keep everything else right where it needs to be. Now you have it already populated into January, and that makes it super awesome for you guys. So if I go back over to my Mount Moriah website and I refresh it, it should, it took that, and I had already done one of the videos, but there it is. It already is populating. Now, the other thing that I do want to show you is actually what this one is right here. If you don't mind, I'm going to go back to our website, which I thought that was the website. Apparently it's not. Apparently that's the viewed one. I'm going to come in through here real quick. I'm going to go over to pages, calendar, and I'm going to, see, that's weird because that one was taken out, but so I'm not sure why that one isn't. Let's try that again. Oh, because I didn't republish it. That's why it is. Okay, publish. There we go. Here we go. Now that'll take it out. Let me see. Should take it out. Should take it out because we republished. Publish. There we go. It's taken out. It took a minute. Okay. So what I'm telling you about right now and why it took such a kind of a weird second to do that is that if you go back to your calendar and you click over here onto your settings and sharing, you can actually scroll all the way down. Now, if you're a Mac person such as me, Google Calendars don't necessarily work unless you have the Google Calendar on your phone or tablet or whatever else. I happen to prefer iCalendar. And so what we always try to do is provide two ways for that, typically through Google or iCalendar. So iCalendar has been, or Google has been really great about making sure, and you do want to make sure that up here, I just jumped right past it, make sure that it's access, that you can make it accessible to the public. But when you come down here, you can see that the public address for iCal format. Now I'm going to double click and I'm going to Control C it, or you can copy it. And then I'm going to go back to my website. And on my website, I'm going to add in just a simple little text box right here down at the bottom. And I'm going to put iCal format or subscribe to iCalendar format. From here, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to create it as a link. And then I'm going to paste that quick web address that I had. And now, when I publish this website, what it should do is when I go back and I refresh, might need another second to make the changes. And for any of you that are curious, I just keep hitting Command R. There you go. Now, when I click on that, it should automatically take it to my iCalendar, and I can add that in. Now, if you're a Google user, it's super awesome because it's already right there. You can click on that and you can already add it to your calendar for any of those brothers that want to add that in, or wives, or whomever else that may want to just have that updated calendar so they can always see what's happening in the lodge. Now, there is a slight chance that, if you are a Mac user and you're controlling the Google site, you can actually have your iCalendar subscribed to through Google. Or Google can subscribe to your iCalendar and keep it updated and then show it on here. But it's not as instant as what this is. And although we've had to refresh a couple times, it's fairly instant in the big scheme of things. Google has something that I think at about like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, every morning, it kind of refreshes everything. So if I put it in tonight, it won't show up tonight until tomorrow at some point. But most of our planning is so far in advance, or should be, that it really doesn't make a huge difference, but it will show within the next day or so when you do it that way, if you are the guy that's controlling the website. So that's one really quick and simple thing that you can do to add to your website, so that not only can your Masons see it, but their wives can see it, prospective members can see it, and see just how very busy and active that you are, and all the great things that you're doing for your lodge and your community and things along those lines. Now, the other thing that other lodge was very concerned about was trying to get online payments for things. So I found the way to really make this happen. Unfortunately, PayPal and Google do not communicate. They don't have a way to do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to set up a link to your PayPal Me. And you can see that I have that right here. Now, if you don't have a PayPal account, you should really be setting one up. The PayPal account is super convenient and super easy to set up. I think you need an email address, which should probably be, like, for instance, it would be mountmoriah@gmail.com. And then you're going to need a cell phone number. So either the secretary, treasurer, worshipful master, whomever it is. I do not recommend that you set it up as a corporate account with the 503c or 503, 403, 503, whatever, 5013c. We've done that in my lodge. And it makes it a bit harder when someone passes away and everything needs to be transferred over, because our Grand Lodge is considered to be like the business owner, so we have to get them to say that we've changed out our officers, and it becomes a huge hassle. I would recommend setting up more of a personal account if you can. When you set that up, I think that PayPal is going to ask for you to they're going to send you 2 small deposits of like 5 cents and 4 cents or something like that. And you're going to have to report what those were to PayPal when you're creating your account, just so they know that you have access to that account, because it can be a lot of money going in and back and forth. But once you get that set up, you can PayPal me. Now, what you want to do for that in order to make that happen is you want to come down here once you're starting to manage your PayPal account, and you can actually get that link to the PayPal me. When you come back over here, you can, for instance, create a new page. And I call ours store, just because it makes it easier for everybody. I'm going to insert a text box for the thing that I'm trying to get them to buy or purchase or whatever else. So we're going to say dues at $100 for 2023, or whatever it may be. From there, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to create the link. And now I'm going to paste that link to my PayPal me right there. And now you can see that it's highlighted, so it is hyperlinked. I'm going to go ahead and publish that. And I'll show you what I mean, why I put so much of that wording in there. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to refresh a couple times until it gets it all locked on. There we go. Now, when I click on dues for $100 for 2023, now it pulls me up to this page. I can send my lodge the money, but the problem is it's not like a cart that you would have for a business because it's not a business, so it's set up a little bit differently. So you can see that it automatically populates with nothing as the total. So someone has to go through and write in that $100. So if you're doing your dues for $100, make sure that they know that on that store page so that they can reference it back. If you're doing tickets for a ladies' night and they're $20 a piece, make sure you put tickets for ladies' night $20 a piece so that when they come through here, they can put in the appropriate amount and then they can put in dues for 2023. And then they come down here and you can hit continue and make that payment the way that you need to. It's actually the simplest and easiest way to make that happen. You will receive an email when payment has been made. It'll show you what the payment was for. So hopefully your guys are remembering to do that. But even if they don't, chances are you don't have 4, 5, 6 items that are all the same thing. You know, like your ladies' night ticket might be $20. If you're doing your dues, if you're buying, lodge shirts, they're $15. They're all going to be slightly different. So it's a little bit easier for those guys to do that. But I do want to make sure that you understand that when you're setting up a lodge PayPal account, PayPal will not technically allow for you to charge like a convenience fee for using them. So just so you know, I think right now it's 2.9 or maybe 3.2%, I think, per transaction plus 30 cents. So if we're looking at $100, you're looking at, you're losing $3.20 plus another 30 cents. So you're going to end up losing anywhere from $3 to $4, depending on what the rates are right at the time. So you're not making $100, you're going to be making $96. So if that's something that your lodge needs to consider, then by all means, let your lodge consider that. Just saying so that if you're keeping your books and you understand why you're losing $4 per person, it's probably PayPal. The other reason you want to keep that into consideration is if your tickets are $25 for your ladies' night, for instance, and you charge $25, you're not going to be making $25. There probably, if you're doing this financially sound, needs to be some wiggle room in there so that if people choose to pay through PayPal, you're not going in the hole for them to attend the event that you're looking for. I've never been one to. I always leave a little bit of room within the money that we're asking for. If a ticket's $10, I might charge 12 type thing. And that kind of goes across to everything. So just keep that in mind when you're using PayPal. Okay. So guys, it's pretty much the end of it. I've showed you how to create a website. I've shown you how to add in all the information. I've shown you how to put in the domain name. I've shown you how to add in the calendars, use it for PayPal. There's really no reason why lodges at this point are not using technology to enhance communication among their members and prospective members. Because I'm telling you, our website, while it's not always the most fantastic thing ever, it does look updated. I do continually put information out to it. And over the years, we've seen that we have more inquiries and membership coming into that because we care enough about our lodge that we want to communicate with those members, and the prospective candidates see that. I also know, for instance, that my wife really does appreciate the idea that there is a calendar that she can subscribe to, and she can see when I'm going to be doing whatever, and whether or not I can help her on certain days, or whether she can help me on certain days, or, oh, hey, don't forget that we were planning a trip, and you go, oh, wait a minute, that's annual communication, or whatever it may be. It's a huge help, not just for me, but also for my family. And I know it's a big help for the other family members of other members. So please, there's no reason why you're not using technology to communicate with your members and prospective candidates. So if you need any more help, you know how to reach me. You can reach me through zervertandfreemason@gmail.com, I think. Or you can just kind of make a comment on this, or you can check me out on Facebook or whatever else. Happy to help you out. Because I don't care where Masons go or where prospective members go to become Masons. This is the best fraternity that there is in the world, and I want to share that with as many as I can. Okay? So until next time, stay fervent.